LSU run rules Arkansas to win the series. Tigers going for a sweep on Sunday. It's Locked on LSU. Here we go.
You are Locked on LSU, your daily podcast on the LSU Tigers. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Okay, let's get it. It is Locked on LSU, your team every day. I'm your host, Matt Moscona. Thanks so much for making us your first listen every day. We're free, available wherever you get podcasts, of course, on YouTube as well. So please subscribe. And as always, one of the fastest ways to help us grow is by leaving your comments below. LSU run rules are Kansas, 13-3. Great performance by Anthony Eyanson. Jake Brown blasts 2 homers in a 3-for-5 day. Sack bunt in the we're going to get to it in a second. Kate Arambidi homered. Ethan Fry homered. What a day for the LSU offense. If I sound a bit testy, my apologies. If you're watching or listening to this on demand, you're probably going to go, Scone, what's the 13-3? They run ruled Arkansas. That's amazing. They won the series. They've effectively locked up now a national seed. All you need to do is not lose your next 4 conference games. And that's, yes, and we're going to get into this game, which was awesome, but I'm only testy because I just watched how that game finished. If you, all of you watching live with me right now, watched how that game finished, it's disgusting, man. You're up 12-0 going into the in the top of the 7th. All you got to do is get 3 outs. You're up 12-0. You're going to run rule them. Rizzy comes on, goes double, walk, RBI single. It's 12-1. They bring on Primo. He gives up an RBI single. It's 12-2. You go to Jaden Newt. He gets a strikeout, but the ball gets past the catcher, Arambidi. So the runners go to second and third, sack fly, and just like that, it's a 12-3 ball game, and you play on. So the Tigers end up winning in the bottom of the 7th on one of the most absurd Little League sequences you'll ever see, where Stephen Milam strikes out. The ball's in the dirt, so they got to throw down to first. It gets away from the catcher. He can't make the play, so he throws down to third instead, where Dickinson is, and the ball's high, so Dickinson breaks for home, and there's a play at the plate, and Dickinson safe. I mean, that was some Little League-ish right there, but nonetheless, the bottom line, so forgive me for being testy, the bottom line is you were awesome today. We've been waiting on the offense to bust out, and my goodness, did the offense bust out in this game. LSU goes for 13 runs on 11 hits. You clubbed 4 homers. You hadn't done that this year since the UNO game earlier this season. Arambidi, by the way, and Fry both homered in that game. Fry homered twice in that game. Jones homered as well. You played clean defensively, no errors. You did leave 9 runners on base, but still, by and large, you were pretty efficient offensively, in large part because of the homers. But you were, I believe, 1 for 5. Actually, in the 7th, you went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. If my math is right, I could be wrong on that. But effectively, you weren't great when you had runners in scoring position, but you blasted 4 homers, so it's going to tilt the scoreboard. So, all things considered, awesome. You did what you had to do. Home weekend against Arkansas. Arkansas had lost their last 2 road series to Florida and Georgia. Been just a different team at home than on the road. 30-3 at home. They were 7-5 on the road. So you had a situation here where you had a team coming into the box. If you heard our preview, our series preview episode, that shout out to the Everydayers, we talked about the disparity with LSU's road conference record, which they have a losing record on the road, and their home conference record. We're coming in there, we're 10-2. So now you're 12-2 at home with another game to go. LSU's been awesome at home. It's the advantage of the box, and they've made the most of it. So you get the walk-off win in game 1, and then obviously another walk-off run rule win here in game 2. Unorthodox as it might have been down the stretch, the bottom line is the things you wanted to see in this game, you saw. Anthony Einson handcuffed one of the best offenses in college baseball, and your offense was awesome in this game. From the first batter of the game, where Curiel singled to lead off the game, Jones struck out, Dickinson walked, and Brown clubbed the 3-run homer. Y'all have heard me say it. You don't need me to say it anymore. Jake Brown needs to be in the lineup every day. I've said it every time we've been here. He was 3 for 5 in this ball game because Jay asked him to sack bunt in the actually, let me see how they ruled that, if you give me 1 second. Jake Brown was 3 for 4, so he gave himself up on the sack bunt, so that didn't count as an AB. So 3 for 4 for Jake Brown on the day. The only out was the strikeout in the let's see, Brown homered in the first. He homered to lead off the third against Bybee. That was the first hitter Bybee faced. That made it 5-0. And then Brown struck out an inning later in the fourth against the lefty, which prompted some of you to say that's why he doesn't play against lefties. Oh, really? If we're going to do the single sample size litmus test here, how about I go pull up a video where he homered off a lefty against Missouri, or the times he's roped doubles against lefties? I mean, give me a break. If you can do a single sample size, so stupid. It's baseball. It's an aggregate. It's why you play 162 games in Major League, like 56 in college. You play averages, and Jake Brown's one of your best players and needs to play every day. I've said it plenty, and you keep seeing it over and over and over again. Not having him in the game is malpractice. It is negligence. Like, he's your best defensive right fielder. He can run on the base paths. He can hit for power to all fields. Not having him in the lineup every day is negligence. I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it again today. It's negligence, not having him in the lineup every day. It's just, it makes no sense whatsoever. Platoon Fry and Pearson at DH, play Brown in right field every day. It's an easy answer. Jay won't do it. He's the coach. He can do what he wants. But you sit a guy who's got 3 for 4 with 2 homer ability on the bench, who's also your best defensive outfielder or right fielder. You sit him on the bench. Why? To prove a point? I don't know. Whatever. He's the coach. He can do what he wants. All right. Let's run through some other takeaways here. How about Kate Arambidi? Kate Arambidi has such a high ceiling. We've talked about it. He was a guy that everybody thought was going to be a high school to the pros guy. He was going to be a high school sign. And he just didn't hit well his senior year of high school. And so his draft stock plummeted. He didn't get the number he wanted. And so he comes to campus. And early this season, he was not ready. It was obvious. He was not ready for the SEC. So getting him opportunities in the midweek has been great. Luis Hernandez has steadied that position. They've let Arambidi catch Einson. Clearly, there's just a comfort level there, which is fine. But you saw the bat come along today as well. Homer, Arambidi finished with 3 hits today. Arambidi was 3 for 4 today. So got his average up to 231 now. He homered, handled the bat really well. You could just tell with Arambidi, it's a super high ceiling. Like, I don't think Luis Hernandez is ever going to play Major League Baseball. Kate Arambidi's got a shot to make it to the show. Like, he's that gifted a player. It's just, he's got to keep maturing. Before he's done here, he's going to be heralded and win awards and all that sort of stuff. He's going to be awesome. And you saw a glimpse of it today, which was really great to see. And look, early on, where this game really kind of got away from Arkansas is, Gage Wood started the game and he was at 59 pitches through 2 innings. And when Dave Van Horn had previously stated that Wood was only going to throw 70 pitches, when you got him at 59 pitches through 2 innings and you were up 4-0, Brown hit the 3-run homer in the first. Arambidi led off the second with a homer. At that point, look, even after Arambidi homered, walk, strikeout, then Jones hit the line out where he just smoked the ball to third base. I mean, Wood wasn't missing any bats today. He was a fastball pitcher, and LSU was timing him up, and they were great today. The offense was great today. A couple of big moments for Eyanson. I thought the top of the third really was the pivotal point because you're up 4-0, but they load the bases on Eyanson. They go single, walk, strikeout, single. Okay, so bases are loaded, and Aloy is coming up, right? The guy with 17 homers, their shortstop, is going to be the SEC Player of the Year. Aloy comes up with the bases loaded, and one swing ties the game. A base hit, and you cut the lead in half. It's just a different ball game. And Eyanson struck out Aloy, struck out Maxwell. You're back in the dugout. It was awesome. That was the moment in the game. Bases loaded with 1 out for Arkansas. Aloy and Maxwell, your 2-3 hitters coming up. And Eyanson goes strikeout, strikeout. At that point, it felt like game was over. Brown led off the third with a homer. It's 5-0. And from that point on, LSU cruised. It was a little disappointing in the fourth. You had the bases loaded with nobody out, and the only thing that came home was the bases loaded walk with Fry. That's where you had the bases loaded after the error at third base, the little tapper to second that second baseman couldn't get out of his glove. Then walk. They walk Jones. So Dickinson's up with the bases loaded, nobody out. He pops foul. Brown strikes out against Fisher, the lefty. They walk Fry with the bases loaded. That puts a 6th run home, and then you had a ground out, which ended the inning. But all things considered, man, it was a great day for LSU. How about the top of the 6th? Stanfield with a diving catch in center field was amazing. Dalton Beck had a pinch hit opportunity in the 6th and drew a walk. The leadoff runner got on base and scored in the 1st through 5th innings for LSU. It was incredible. I mean, you were all over the base paths, and it was fantastic to see. And then this is probably bearing the lead a little bit. But how about the day Anthony Eyanson had? I mean, he just continues to show that he is a elite level top tier pitcher. Einson gets the win. 6 innings pitched. He needed 93 pitches. He certainly could have come out for the 7th. I don't blame Jay in that spot. You're up 12-0. You want to get some guys mound time. Perfectly fine to do it. Rizzi, Primo, Newt couldn't get it done for you. That's unfortunate that it happened the way it did. Or I should say Rizzi and Primo couldn't. Newt got you out of it. But it's unfortunate that it went that way. And it does. It's part of the conversation we have to talk about in this game. But Einson was incredible. 6 innings pitched, 11 strikeouts, just 1 walk. He allowed 5 hits, didn't allow a run. I mean, that's against the best offense in the SEC. I was texting a buddy of mine who's a scout for a National League team during the game. And I said, how much money has Einson made in the last month? He said, 2nd round now. Said probably $800K. Probably would have gotten $500K before this last month, but he's made himself some money. I did ask what the ceiling is. Said probably 2nd round, but I don't know. I watched Ty Floyd go ham throughout the postseason in Omaha and push his way into round 1. So, which to say Anthony Eyanson with a strong, 4 weeks ahead couldn't do the same thing. So, South Carolina, the SEC tournament, regional, super regional, then Omaha, and see how it goes if Tigers can get there. The one thing that seems pretty certain after today, in the last 2 days, is LSU with these 2 wins over Arkansas has effectively locked up a national seed. I mean, the only way that this could get away from you is if you lose game 3 on Sunday and then get swept at South Carolina. If that happened, then you're not going to be a national seed. You'll host still, but you won't be a national seed. Hard for me to imagine that happening because South Carolina is atrocious. But then we just saw Missouri beat Texas A&M last night. So, or I should say in game 1, depending on whenever you're listening or watching this. So, Tigers win 13-3. They run rule Arkansas and put themselves in an amazing position now to be a national seed with a game on Sunday, chance to sweep Arkansas, and then 3 games next weekend against South Carolina. Okay, we'll give you a quick thumbnail preview of game 3 and get to your questions as we continue. Please smash that like button if you're with us here on YouTube, watching us live. It's Locked on LSU, your team every day. There's nothing like the NBA playoffs, the intensity, the buzzer beaters, the fans losing their minds. It's the kind of atmosphere you must experience live, and this year's matchups are already delivering. If you want in, Gametime makes it fast and easy to get seats, even for the biggest playoff games. Prices on the app actually drop closer to tip-off. And with killer last-minute deals, panoramic seat views, and no surprise fees, Gametime is a total game changer. Listen, I was able to go watch. I've been to several Pelicans playoff games. There really is nothing like being on the floor for a playoff game in the NBA. If you ever have the opportunity, highly recommend it. Gametime can make it happen. Also, the NFL schedule release is coming this week, and you better believe you're looking at your fall calendar, picking out which games you're going to be at. Gametime makes scoring NFL tickets just as easy. And with the Gametime guarantee, your tickets are 100% authentic. They'll arrive on time, and you'll always get the best price with fees included. So what you see is what you pay. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app. create an account. Use the code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem with the code LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Today's show is also brought to you by Wayfair. Spring is here, y'all. That means it's home project season. Whether you're refreshing a room, tackling a full renovation, Wayfair is the best kept secret for all things home improvement, from small updates like stylish cabinet hardware to major upgrades like new vanities, sinks, outdoor lighting. Wayfair has quality products for every budget. Their free and fast shipping makes it so easy, so you're not hauling heavy items from the store. And they got top brands like GE, Moe, and all at great prices. Shopping is seamless. You'll find exactly what you need to fit your space and your style. Wayfair makes home improvement easy, so get started at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Okay, LSU run rules are Kansas 13-3. So it's a TBA day for LSU and Arkansas in Game 3. Kason Evans, because he hasn't thrown here in either of the first 2 days, means Kason Evans will get the start for LSU. Let me see if I can find who's going to start for Arkansas Game 3. See if we can get that answer for you before we're out here, out of the show here. All right, we'll get to your questions. You love Kason Evans in this spot. Look, he's a strike thrower. He's a fastball thrower, which may feed into Arkansas's wheelhouse, kind of the way that Wood was just tailor-made for the LSU offense. Just a strike thrower, fastball strike thrower. But Kason Evans leads the SEC in ERA. It'll be a great matchup watching Evans go up against the best lineup in the SEC on Sunday. And you've got everybody available. Zach Cowan could certainly come back in Game 3 if you needed him for. I don't think that he would extend, but he could certainly give you something if you needed him. None of the pitchers you used today were taxed. I'm looking here at the pitch counts. Rizzi threw 14 pitches, Primo threw 10, Newt threw 14. So any of those guys could come back. You effectively have everyone available to you at your disposal, except for obviously Cade Anderson and Anthony Einson. Everyone else would be available for something on Sunday. By the way, it looks like keep an eye on Landon Beetlescheiss. He'll probably be the guy for Arkansas here in Game 3. I'll give you his line real quick. I'll give you his line for the seasons. He's a lefty, 6'3", 230. He's a transfer from Ohio State. His stats on the season are he's 4-0 with a 4.65 ERA so far on the season. 50 in the third innings pitched. He has started 11 times, so he's likely the guy that'll get the ball. 50 strikeouts and 50 in the third innings pitched to just 16 walks. So not overpowering stuff, but about a strikeout per innings pitched. And, about a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, which is pretty good. So you'll see a pretty good arm, but Arkansas is going to see the best arm that LSU has remaining in Kason Evans on Sunday at the box as LSU goes for the sweep. Alex, Jake Brown, I'm writing it with Sharpie. Hey, look, y'all have heard me say it enough. Sometimes bald, loud guys that look like a thumb are right. I've been right about Jake Brown. And I think everybody sees it now. There's just no reason not to have him in the lineup every day. Anthony Einson, especially with that breaking ball. Jake Brown, everyday right field. Fry, everyday DH. Hernandez, everyday catcher. Braswell at third. See, all of this, I think, is settled at this point. Like, Braswell is your everyday third baseman already. And Hernandez is going to catch every day, except for some reason, and if I have a chance to talk to Jay, I'll ask him, but it's pretty clear that Eyanson and Aaron Beatty work well together. If that's the case, I'm fine. I'm fine with that. Colin, concerned about Jared Jones at the plate. He's reverting to some bad habits from years past. It's hurting him. Milam's slumping badly too. The the strikeouts are what concerns me with Jones. 0 for 3 with 2 more strikeouts today, but he did walk twice. And for me, that's the number I want to see with Jared Jones. It's just the ability to be patient and take your walks, because there's teams that are like, every team is going to pitch around Jared Jones. It's why having protection in the lineup is so important. It's why we talked about it all offseason, was who was going to provide protection for Jared Jones in the lineup. And so far this year, that's mostly been Dickinson. But if teams are going to pitch around you, and like maybe you get one fastball to hit in a game, like you can't miss it if you're Jared Jones. And you got to be willing to be patient. And early this year he was, and of late he's not. In conference play, Jared Jones hitting 259. He is struck out coming into today. It struck out 38 times, so 2 more strikes. He's got 40 strikeouts in conference play in 110 at bats. I'm sorry, 111 at bats. So, I mean, he's striking out about 1 every 3 at bats. That's way too many. So I agree with you, Colin. It's way too many. Will, do you agree with Jay pulling an Einson? Yes, I do. Einson was at 93 pitches. You were up 12-0. You want to get guys mound time. There's no reason to extend Eyanson there when you don't have to. The game was well in hand. I have no problem whatsoever with Jay pulling Eyanson after 6. It was a weird ending. Brown and Fry, players of the game. They were awesome. Will, what more does Jake Brown have to do to be an everyday starter? Ridiculous. He's not there daily. It's really a thing where Jay respects Josh Pearson so much, and so do I. Josh Pearson is a really good college baseball player. He is, and he's a valuable asset to your team, and he has a role. And maybe that role is being a left-handed bat off the bench, or starting on a Tuesday night when now Tuesdays are past, but or maybe it's you're going to platoon a DH when you're facing a righty, then it's going to be Pearson who's starting a DH as the lefty. But I'm repeating myself. Today's just a day where it's more obvious to everybody the things that I've said all along. Brown gives you power to all fields. He can hit for average. His RBI single up the middle was beautiful. He is your best defensive right fielder. He's got great speed. He probably, by the way, beats out the bunt, if not for slipping out of the box, and has a 4 for 4 day, or I guess 4 for 5 day. But anyway, Jeremy Caleb, a walk-off strikeout. That was insane. I've never seen a walk-off strikeout. I'm sure it's happened before. You know, that they always say you go to the ballpark, you see something new every day. I'm sure that's happened plenty. I don't know that I remember seeing it. Yellow Jacket, Matt, where do you rank Anthony Anderson and Einson against other greats? LSU greats? I mean, if I'm trying to think of the best 1-2 punches in LSU history, I'd have to give that some thought. I mean, Lang and Poche in 17 were incredible. I mean, Lang was a first rounder, and Poche won more games than literally anybody in the history of the program. And you can even go back to years past where you're talking about, big leaguers like Chad Oj and Mike Sorotka and Ben McDonald and Russell Springer. I mean, you're talking about big leaguers. Like, you've had tons of big leaguers. I mean, even recently here, when you're looking at, oh man, of course, now I'm trying to think of it. I won't. Cole Henry and Jaden Hill. We got robbed of that because of COVID. But both Cole Henry and Jaden Hill are pitching in the major leagues right now. Think about what that could have looked like during the COVID year with that 1-2 punch. We got robbed of seeing that because of COVID. So there's been great ones, man. Let's let Skeens and Floyd. I mean, let's see how the rest of the season plays out, and then we can make that determination a little bit. Rally Tossum, I love it. Brown in the lineup every daggum day. I'm here for it. Ben, David, appreciate everybody for being here. Dale, the home plate ump was excited to call him safe. I think the home plate ump was excited to get going a little bit. I'm loving seeing the Jake Brown affirmations today. Not everybody has been on board with that all year, but I think there's some obvious things. Like, there were some of you who didn't want Braswell at third. There were some of you who didn't want Stanfield in center. And you look at the play Stanfield made, the diving catch Stanfield made in the top of the sixth for the first out. He's an incredible center fielder, and he's your leading hitter in SEC play. Sometimes things manifest as the season goes along, and you start to see it, and it makes sense. Christian said, "Why is Brown bunting at all?" So I agree with that. I hate sacrifice bunting, period. And I certainly wouldn't be bunting Jake Brown, the guy who's got 3 hits in the ball game and has homered twice, and you got a freshman on the bump. Yeah, I would probably let Jake Brown swing away. But then again, I would be coaching my first game, as a lot of you will say. All's well that ends well, whatever. Justin Dugard, best LSU podcast around, everydayer. Shout out, Justin. Thank you so much. Shout out to all of our everydayers. I appreciate you for being there with us. Hey, if you are watching or listening on demand, remember, we are live as soon as the games go final. So make sure that if you're watching or listening on demand, make sure you've got the notification set on the Locked On LSU YouTube channel. So as soon as we go live, boom, you get the notification, and you can jump aboard and comment with us here. Let's see, Matt, if we win the last 4, are we in contention for the number 1 overall seed? I figure 2, we're a lock. 3 wins, top 4. Interested in your thoughts. So, no, I think Texas probably has the number 1 overall seed locked up. I didn't see what Texas did today. I'm checking it out right now. They lost against Florida yesterday. Okay, so they won today. So Texas lost game 1. They won game 2. They're at home, obviously, so they'll have a chance to win a series tomorrow. And then they play Oklahoma on the road in the last weekend of the season. So, no, I suppose if LSU beats Arkansas on Sunday, sweeps South Carolina, then you could get into a situation where if let's see. No, because even if you ended up at 20 and Texas lost out, you'd both be at 20 wins in the conference, and they have a head-to-head against you, and their RPI is so dramatically ahead of everybody. So no, I don't see it. And honestly, I don't care. You don't reseed like if they reseeded the field in Omaha, that would be one thing, but they don't. So I'm not interested in whether you're the 1 seed or the 8 seed. It's really a matter of just get one of those top 8 seeds so your path to Omaha runs through Baton Rouge. That's really the only thing. I passed it, but I read a comment from someone that just said, I'm ready for Milam to come out of the lineup. I'm ready for you to never comment that ever again. That is one of the most atrocious and stupid comments anyone can make. I'm not saying you're stupid. I'm saying that comment is stupid. And it just scrolled past. I lost it, so I'm not going to be able to pull it up and show you. I understand Stephen Milam offensively has really struggled. He was 0 for 5 today with 2 strikeouts. I don't care. He's your starting shortstop. He is an elite defensive shortstop, and he has come through in big moments for you. This is something. There are certain ethos that remain true year to year, and you've heard me say. This was something that I said often about Alex Milazzo that a lot of you disagreed with, and by the time his career was over, you all got it. This is what I said about Jordan Thompson at short when he was struggling offensively. You will sacrifice a bat for an elite glove at a premium defensive position. Premium defensive position right up the middle. Catcher, shortstop, center field. If you have an elite defender at one of those positions, you will sacrifice the bat. When he was a freshman, Michael Papierski couldn't hit a lick. I believe Andrew Stevenson hit 180 as a freshman, played center field every day because it was like having two guys in center field. Austin Nola, as a freshman, when he was inserted at shortstop, he didn't hit a lick as a freshman, became a very good offensive player, but he was in there to turn double plays and give you more up the middle. There is no chance, none, that you take Stephen Milam out of the lineup. He could go 0 for the rest of the season. He's going to be your starting shortstop. And to suggest anything other is just dumb. It's just dumb. So, no, you're not taking Stephen Milam away. But he's going to be your shortstop every day. Let's see if I can get a couple more here. Let's see. Gulf South said Brown did have a heck of a night tonight. Should play every game. He also had something like a 3 for 20 slump. He was like in a 1 for 13 stretch is what he was. And the one was a 3-run homer against Tennessee in the third game that put you up in the second inning and started the snowball rolling downhill, which is why you play him every day, because he's capable of that. Not everybody is capable of that. So yes, you play him every day. Everyone. Literally, I just defended Stephen Milam, who's hitting 279, who was 0 for 5 today, who in conference play, Stephen Milam in conference play coming into this game is hitting 209. 209. And I don't even care. I don't care that he's hitting 209 in conference play. He's your starting shortstop. He's your best defensive shortstop. He's not taking the struggles offensively with him into the field. So eventually, it'll turn. I'm not telling you that he's going to finish the season hitting 320. It's probably not enough time to do that. But like, could we see him raise the batting average 50 points but over the next month? Sure. And if he does, great. If he's hitting 320 over the next month, awesome. He'll come along with that. Every time LSU loses a series, they followed up with an impressive series win. I mean, maybe that's a characteristic of this team. Maybe it's just that they're really good and like series losses are just going to be an outlier, you know. Let's see. How about Jay during his in-game interview? Yeah, when Braswell mishandled the ball at third, or I guess was 2D, couldn't make the play at third. You could tell. Like, I was thinking about it. Does the two people I think in the world that hate the in-game interviews the most are Jay Johnson and Greg Popovich. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen a coach loathe the in-game interview more than those two guys. He cannot, like, some coaches will sit there with the headset on, they'll have a conversation during the whole half inning. Jay just, it's like you got two questions, ask him, and as soon as you're done, headset's coming off and he's going about his day. And I don't blame him, by the way. I hate in-game interviews. I hate it. It's the coaches don't want to do it. You very seldom get anything of value. The best thing, obviously, was Ben asking about Cade Anderson. So Jay's answer about Cade Anderson was fantastic. But unless if you're going to do that, where you're actually trying to get an answer of something material to the game, I hate the in-game interviews. I really hate Sunday Night Baseball talking live to a player who's in the field. Like, I don't know if y'all have seen that on Sunday Night Baseball the past couple of years, where they put a microphone and an earpiece on a player in the field for a defensive half inning, and they talk. The booth is talking to him during the game. I'm like, how distracting! Like, if I'm the pitcher, I'm ticked that one of my defenders behind me is having a conversation with the freaking guys in the booth and not being locked in on what he's supposed to be doing defensively. Anyway, like, could you imagine? Like Joe Buck and Troy Aikman having a one-on-one conversation with the left guard when the Chiefs are playing the Broncos? Like, how stupid is that? Anyway. All right. Any more? Maybe one more. Fry's getting hot like Travinsky did at the end of the 2023 season. Would love to see it continue. Big opportunity Sunday to sweep Arkansas. And if you do that, you go to South Carolina effectively with a national seed locked up. All you can do is not get swept. So you got Casey Evans on the mound. Great advantage. See if the Tigers can get it done and put themselves in a great position heading into the final weekend of the regular season. Okay, y'all. Bubba Tatum with a little nugget. The Aggies lost to Missouri again. How about that? All they needed to do is break through. There you go, Hunt Palmer. LSU's RPI is ticking up. Actually, and you played A&M too, so them losing is not good. Anyway, all right, that'll do it for us here. Thanks so much for being 883 people watching on a Saturday night at 9:05. I love y'all, man. I'm sincerely grateful. The only reason I do this is because y'all are here, and I'm sincerely grateful. So thanks for hanging out. If you're watching or listening on demand, shout out. Thank you for being there. Remember, we're live after the games, so get over to the Locked On LSU YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified whenever we go live or when we post a new video. And shout out, if you're on podcast app, please subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Rate us, leave a review. We appreciate y'all greatly, man. Y'all have an awesome rest of your Saturday night or whenever you're listening or watching this, and we'll be here when LSU wraps up the series against Kansas on Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Y'all be good. It's Locked On LSU, your team every day.